Can we do it? Let's do it. It's a long time ago. We're back again. Adam and Martin, both on the same screen for a change. How you doing, Martin? You good?
Yeah, I'm going. It's good, thanks. Yeah.
Good.
Sound
Good.
like you've got a bit of a cold there, Adam.
Shock horror. Yes, I have once again. Yeah, I'll try not to make it an issue whilst we do this, but um, we'll see how it goes. I've got a tickle in my throat already, actually. But
Have you got a drink? That's the main thing.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, we're back this week. We've just finished Ahsoka, and we're going to do a little roundup of that. We've got some pickups to come, and then obviously the best part of it a little bit later on, but we'll get to that. Ahsoka, Martin,
Yeah,
shall we go with that first then?
yeah. If you like, you've thrown me off there because I was going to do pickups first, but that's cool. It's all good. It's all
Oh,
good.
okay.
So yeah, I literally finished watching it about 2 hours ago, and the first thing I think and I feel I need to bring up about the finale is I don't know if anyone saw our preview show, and I said it wouldn't matter, and these are my actual words. It wouldn't matter. It would be such a touching, beautiful moment if just setting the scene. Ahsoka was, I don't know, kneeling down, closing her eyes, communing with the Force, and she opened her eyes, and there stood in front of her was Anakin as a Force ghost, and there
Okay.
wouldn't even have to be any dialogue. There would just be a smile or a tear or something from Ahsoka looking up at Anakin, and it could just end there. And to be quite honest with you, the whole series could be a load of rubbish. But
Providing it ends like that.
if that scene, it's like the and there Anakin's ghost would pop up.
Hmm.
I
Nailed
said,
it.
didn't I, that would be a absolutely special moment. It didn't
Yeah.
happen for the reasons that I thought it would happen, but that moment in itself, made the episode fantastic for me.
Mm.
Overall, was it the greatest Star Wars finale in the history of Star Wars? Absolutely not.
No, not really.
Um,
No.
no. Did I love the series as a whole? I absolutely loved it. Did it have its
Did you?
problems?
Okay.
Absolutely.
Hmm.
But those things I can kind of put aside because I think we're used to things not being 100% perfect these
Yeah,
days.
I think. Sorry to jump in, but I think
No.
well, just to quickly sort of give my thoughts on it. I think I've reached that point where I'm just happy to have something to watch. Something that actually is part of my interests these days. And you're right, it wasn't the greatest series, but it certainly had its moments.
Mm,
Um, the finale was a bit nothing for me. Had some moments again, like I say, but didn't really. I was sat there thinking, it's okay. I don't know if you felt the same, but
yeah, I
it
think
really sort of took a while to build for one,
yeah, and it
and
didn't have long to do it, did it?
and they didn't. No, they didn't, and they didn't really do a lot with it. Um,
No.
but in general, the series was good, and I think one of the best things for it, well, obviously, as everyone's saying, Ray Stevenson's character Balin Skull,
Yeah.
and how he portrayed that. I mean, he was fantastic.
Mm,
And one of the best things I would say would probably be the casting.
mm,
I do think they got that kind of right.
yeah.
I was kind of one of those going back to the. I hate to do it, but going back to the sequels. Um, it was kind of one of those moments where everyone's calling to see the main cast be together.
Yeah.
So like Han and Leia and Luke, you've said it 1,000 times. All you
Mm,
wanted to see was them all together on the Falcon one more time,
mm, yeah.
and you kind of, even though I'm not like invested in Rebels and I haven't seen much of Rebels, it would have been nice to get all the characters together
Mm.
and have them all there. But we didn't even see Zeb all series, and I
No.
was quite surprised at that.
Yeah,
I don't know about you.
I think you're right, but I think the difference between this and the sequels is that's going to happen.
Yeah,
As long as they commission that second season,
yeah,
Dave Filoni's not going to not have that happen, because he's made this. I think you said it, and I denied it for a while, that this is pretty much Rebels season 5, isn't it?
yeah,
Ahsoka. So there's absolutely no way. I'd put money on it that he's not going to, at some point in the future, whether it be in a film or a second season, um, they they have all the Ghost crew together on a mission.
yeah. I'd agree,
Yeah,
but I was just quite, surprised it didn't happen
yeah.
because series 2 hasn't been confirmed, has it?
No, it hasn't. No, I was reading about it just before we came on, and they're in talks to do it, but I think there's obviously a lot of things to think about. Streaming services are trying to downsize these at the moment because of cost of everything. Obviously Ray Stevenson can't come back to play Balen Skull.
Yeah,
So what do they do
which is
about that?
probably the biggest shame of the whole thing. And
Yeah, oh yeah, it's
his
such a
story's
shame.
still so untold.
I couldn't agree
His
more.
and Shin Hati,
Yeah, yeah,
who
absolutely.
is a lovely, lovely character.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things I was slightly disappointed that she just didn't try and find her old master or her master. She just went to that group of
Group
I don't
of
know what they were, scavengers or
raiders,
whatever,
something like
raiders. Yeah, raiders. And obviously she's gonna, as soon as a few things happened in that final episode, I was kind of like, okay, yeah, they're definitely setting this up for a second season. It's going to take place on that
absolutely,
planet.
yeah.
I mean, as soon as Ahsoka saw the convoy, whatever it called, that little owl thing, I was like, okay, yeah, that's where Balin's going. He's going to see the Mortis gods. And then when he was stood on top of that statue and it panned back and it was the father, and to the right of him was the son from the Mortis
Is that who
trilogy.
that was? Right.
Yeah, that was so he's obviously trying to find the Mortis gods.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you remember from the Clone Wars, but the daughter, she died, and she kind of passed her life force, if you like, for want of a better phrase, into Ahsoka, which made Ahsoka the incarnation of the daughter.
Right.
Anakin was going to end up becoming, or they wanted him to become, the father, because so he's the father, which then begs the question, who's going to be the son? So if you think about it, the father and the daughter are already on the planet, and so who's going to play the son? So I thought that was a really, again, you'd have to be steeped in Clone Wars and Rebels knowledge to know all this stuff, but but for a fan, it was quite an exciting moment to see that. So I really hope we get to see what happens there. I mean, it was an episode for the teasers, really, wasn't it? I mean, Thrawn getting back to the Star Wars galaxy as we know it, and heading straight to Dathomir with the witches, and so we know that if there was a season 2, we're probably going to see the Imperial remnants get together and find out what they're up to on Dathomir. So that was interesting.
But am I right in thinking? Obviously, I haven't seen all of Rebels. Am I right in thinking that Darth Maul's now dead?
Yeah, Darth Maul. Obi-Wan kills him on Tatooine. Yeah,
right.
Yeah. So yeah, we won't. I don't think we'll be
seeing. So we're not going to be seeing him there, or we're not likely to see him there.
No, I think the witches would have to have his body to reincarnate him, and obviously, that's not going to happen. So, I quite like the death troopers, or the zombie troopers. That was quite cool because everyone was predicting that's what they were already. And I never I personally never thought that was the case, because I just thought, I don't know, I just didn't like the idea of it.
Because they did call them Death Troopers, didn't they, to begin with? Was it Death Troopers? No.
Dark Troopers.
Night Troopers.
Night Troopers, that was it. Yeah, Night Troopers. Yeah. There was a couple of cool zombie death troopers from the Rogue One troopers that fought at the end of the episode. I thought the standout moment for me, and this won't surprise you, was the lightsaber fight between Morgan Elsbeth and Ahsoka. That was absolutely fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Great choreography. Just what I want to see in a lightsaber fight.
Well, I will say, I don't know if you know any history or if you know about the actress who plays Morgan Elsbeth.
Yes, she's Bruce Lee's granddaughter, isn't she? Sorry, goddaughter. Beg your pardon.
Yeah, goddaughter. Yeah, so she's directly sort of trained. Her dad was Bruce Lee's first student,
That's
I think,
apprentice, yeah,
or
master and apprentice, yeah.
master and apprentice. So yes,
Yeah.
it's quite impressive. She's probably got some pretty good skills.
Yeah, so that was absolutely great, and the sword she was using was the sword of, I think they said Mother Talzin, and obviously Mother Talzin was the mother, the high of was it
The
mother? Yeah,
witches,
mother of the Night Sisters, yeah, the witches of
nice. Oh
Dathomir
yeah.
in the
Hmm.
Clone Wars. So again, another nice little uh, Easter egg there.
Callback sort of thing. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so that was fantastic. Yeah, I mean, I personally think it was a great season. Did it have its down points? Yes, it did. I mean, I'm still not overjoyed by Sabine. You know, I mean,
Being
you could argue that
being
she's had
force
training.
sensitive.
Yeah, you could argue she's had some training over the last few years and stuff. So she knew how to do that stuff, even though she didn't really have the power yet. It's better than,
They
I suppose, you could argue Rey in the sequel trilogy had no training whatsoever, but was
yeah, and just
instantly all powerful.
yeah.
But
They do touch upon it though, don't they? Saying that it's everyone is capable of using it. Am I right? Did they say that?
yeah, I
I
mean,
feel like
everybody. Well,
Ahsoka
even
said that.
Qui-Gon says it in the prequel trilogy.
Mm.
The midichlorians are, in all living cells, in all living people, but you have to have a certain amount of them in you to be able to use the Force. To paraphrase what he said. So it's
Yeah.
it's always the case that everybody's got the Force, but you don't necessarily able to use it. And I just feel that it was a bit shoehorned in there, and in the final episode, all of a sudden she's got all this amazing skill with the lightsaber that she didn't have
She
before.
kind of had to have, it
Yeah,
had to happen in
and
that like last episode, didn't it?
that's right.
It
And
was
she
it was
force
the force
pushes.
pushing.
Yeah, that really bugged me.
Yeah.
But you know me, I'm positive about Star Wars. I don't like being negative about it. So
No, not at all. No.
I'm
What do
happy. I'm
you
like, okay, that happened, and move on.
So I've obviously mentioned like the casting of Ray Stevenson and Diana Lee Inosanto. Um, how do you feel like they? How do you feel they did with the rebels
Oh,
themselves? Do you think
yeah. I
it
mean,
was a good
I
job?
thought Sabine and Ezra were perfect. I mean, I have to
Mm.
say, it's no anyone who's listened to us in the past knows I like Rebels, but it's never been one of my favorite shows, and I can take it or leave it most of the
Yeah.
time. But this has actually made me quite like the Rebels.
All right. Yeah.
Both those characters, Sabine and Ezra, I couldn't stand in the animated series, but I've
Yeah.
actually quite liked them in this. They're really well cast, and they play the characters really, really well.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't have any complaints about that. But again, one of the standout characters for me has pretty much been one of my favorite characters the whole way through is Hu Yang. Again, a
Yes,
character
David
from the Clone
Tennant.
Wars.
Yeah,
Yeah, David
David
Tennant.
Tennant.
He
Absolutely
he's
brilliant.
he's been brilliant because he's been the link between things we've never seen before, way back in the past, all the way through the Clone Wars and Rebels, up to where we are in the state of the galaxy now. And I not only is he that linchpin in the series, but he's also a really well written droid, really well and quite funny character, but not overly cheesy funny
Yeah.
either.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been a while since we've had a good droid. I'd argue K2SO was the last good droid we've had
I would agree with you with that.
in
Yeah.
Star Wars. So yeah, I'm really, really happy with him. Yeah, I mean, I have no complaints. I mean, this isn't going to be a full in-depth review. This is just our first impressions, and I'm sure
Yeah, our impressions. Yeah.
you
You
know.
watch it again then, or?
Yeah, that was the last thing I just wanted to say. Is again, it suffers like a lot of the recent series have from Disney Plus. I think if you watch it, and this includes Andor, Obi-Wan, and possibly Mandalorian season 3, if you were to watch it as in the Netflix model where it's all released in one go and you just binge watch it, I genuinely think that it would be a better experience. I mean, imagine watching the whole of Ahsoka and then going into that finale, having just watched all of those other episodes in quick succession. You probably wouldn't have felt slightly that was a bit disappointing because you would have had the whole build up to it as of just one piece, if that makes sense. So I know they've got to release it week by week, but I think if they did the Netflix model of releasing content on Disney Plus, it would, especially for Star Wars, it would, and maybe even for Marvel as well, it would probably work a lot better in my eyes anyway.
I'm inclined to agree with you there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right, we've got to get on. So let's move on to our pickups this week. Then, do you want to start? I actually
Yeah.
have one this week,
Oh, excellent.
and
I've
one
got.
that I'm quite excited about. I will tell you.
Oh,
Yeah.
you got more than one.
No, just one.
Oh, just the one.
Yeah,
Okay, cool.
yeah,
Okay, well, mine will be quite quick because everybody's got these now. They've just been come out. My first one is the Ewoks 2-pack from the Vintage Collection,
yeah.
which is awesome. It includes Wicket and Nisa, I think is how you pronounce it.
Okay.
Unpunched card backs representing the original Ewoks Kenner cards back in
Mm-hmm.
1986. I'm going to say possibly 7 though.
1986.
Um,
Okay.
so yeah, they look great. I really like them. I mean, they look a bit cheesy and kiddie, but for nostalgia reasons, you've got to pick them up. They look
Yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah. Did you
So
ever
I
watch the
think
cartoon for that?
I did. I did as a
Did
youngster.
you?
It
Yeah.
doesn't hold up. It's pretty
No.
terrible. It's much like Droids. I don't think Droids was particularly great either. But yeah, no, I'm really happy to have these. I'm a completionist, so I would have got them even if I didn't like them. But
Yep.
they'll I've got the Droids cards and now I've got the Ewoks cards. So I've got the set.
That's
So
actually given me an idea of something that we should do at some point. Is find
hmm.
out your least favorite card backs in the vintage collection at some
Oh
point.
yes. Oh, well,
Because
yeah,
I've never
yeah.
never thought to ask you that. So
That's a
yeah,
good. I'd have to have a think about that. I mean, I've got one or two in mind, but yeah, that's for another time. Maybe a good
yeah,
idea.
yeah.
My second pickup, again, this is everybody's been getting this over the last few weeks.
Mm-hmm.
It's the Mandalorian speeder bike, Scout Trooper, and Grogu. Now, anybody who knows me knows I don't really buy vehicles,
I was going to
but
ask what made you pick that one up.
well, this the card back that came in it because
Oh,
you needed to
okay, yeah,
buy the Scout, the biker, the speeder bike in order to get the car back. So
right.
again, this is a fantastic car back. It's got this really cute little baby Yoda inside the satchel. He's just popping his head out.
So it's a biker scout then, yeah.
It's a Scout Trooper bike scout, yeah,
Biker
with a
scout,
little
yeah.
Grogu. It's basically the episode where the Scout Trooper just sort of punches the bag at the end of season one,
Yeah,
isn't it?
season
End of
one,
season
yeah.
one. But the figure looks
That's
absolutely fantastic.
cool. Yeah,
It's unpunched. It's
yeah. I've
finally
never
one that's come immaculate as
finally
well.
immaculate.
Yeah, which is great.
Hooray!
So yeah, really happy to pick those up. But obviously, the main event of our pickups in October will probably be coming a bit later in the month, but we'll talk about that at the end of the show.
Yeah.
So yeah, over to you, Adam. What have you
Over to
picked
me.
up?
Well, Martin, anyone who's watched me on Universal Toy Collectors, My Collecting Life a few weeks ago or a couple of weeks ago, will have heard me.
Great interview, by the way.
Thank you. That's very kind.
Yeah.
Will have heard me say that I had a particular droid that I was looking for, kind of a holy grail, and I managed to randomly pick it up.
Oh, Mace
Can you
Windu's
see
droid.
that? It is R4M6. It's Mace
Oh, that's
Windu's
awesome.
droid.
Oh,
And
do you know what?
it's not in bad condition, but I mean, it's a Hasbro issue. It's not very aligned down the bottom. Can you see that?
No, yeah. The Revenge of the
Can't really
Sith
see
cards
that.
had that problem as well.
Yeah, so it's not been properly aligned, and I don't think
No.
it's been re-glued. It looks like it's always been on there. So yeah, but
That's
in
awesome.
general,
Well,
the droid
yeah.
itself is awesome. It's so cool,
Yeah.
little
I
purple
was going to say you've been wanting that for a
astromech.
while.
I've been wanting
It's
that for a
really
while,
weird.
and it
Yeah.
popped up on eBay for like 15 quid. And I haven't seen
Wow.
it for anything less than like 45. So I was like, yep,
Wow.
straight away.
I,
Yeah.
I must admit, I was watching My Collecting Life, right, when you did it, and you
Go on.
mentioned that droid, and I had my iPad in front of me, so I quickly went on eBay to see if I could find the droid that you were talking about, and I saw one on there for about 15, 16 quid, and I was like, I'm just going to buy it for Adam now. Literally, I was going to buy it there and then, because I thought,
Yeah.
you can't miss. I can't. I don't know if it was the actual one, but it was literally the moment I was watching it, so it would have been the day it was released. So
Right.
line that up if you like. I don't know, but I didn't do it there and then. I finished the episode, and later in the evening, I went back to do it, but it had been sold. So was that you?
No, I don't think it was.
Oh
I don't
right,
think it
okay,
was.
okay.
No,
So
I
yeah,
picked this up. I only picked this up last week. last
okay, so that's
Monday, I think. So yeah,
well, maybe it didn't sell then. That's really
yeah,
weird. Oh, that's brilliant,
yeah.
mate.
But
Because
it,
yeah,
you know, I've been struggling to find that for a
yeah.
decent price, and 15 quid is
I, I
decent for me.
was gonna say the astromechs are starting to build up now, aren't they?
Yeah, yeah. I've got a
Yeah,
few, got a
yeah,
fair
it's looking
few.
good. Looking
So
good.
that's good. Yes. So yeah, what's up next then? Shall we hit that and see? So Echo Base.
Yep.
Any of you watching this on the day of release will know that tomorrow is Echo Base, and Martin and I, all being well, will be there.
Looking forward to it.
Early doors. We what's our plan for it? We're going to go in with a little bit of a wish list and see what we can pick up. But
Yeah, I think we've both done a little shopping list, haven't we, of things that we'd like to pick up, price
yeah,
dependent. And you know, we'll have a bit of fun like we did in the last video while we're there, set each other a little challenge maybe.
yeah,
You know,
yeah,
and yeah, just film the morning in general, and then you know, put a
and then
video
release it
together,
in the
and
coming
yeah,
weeks. Yeah,
yeah, yeah. Well, hopefully Friday if you pull your finger out.
yeah. I've just got to make sure that I'm yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Keeps
So
me busy. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah. Well, I have been editing all the videos for the last, I don't
to be
know.
fair, and you've done a very good
Yeah,
job of it. I'm hoping
yeah.
people are enjoying Martin's work there.
I'm,
I haven't really done a whole lot of editing
no, but
recently.
you've been a busy
It's
man,
been a
mate,
nice break.
and also, you know, to be fair, everything I do, I've learned from you, and I'm still nowhere up to the same level as you. So,
I don't know.
you know, one
You're
day
doing
hopefully I'll
good.
be good enough to learn how to do a video like Echo Base, because that is quite a challenge, isn't it, to put all that together?
Well, it's a lot of work, yeah, but
Yeah,
it's good
yeah,
fun. It's good
yeah,
fun. You get to
yeah.
relive everything. So yeah,
That's right.
cool.
Cool,
So yeah,
excellent stuff.
that's us for today. I hope you enjoyed that episode. If you did, please hit that like button and that subscribe button. And we will catch you in the next one, which should be Echo Base, which hopefully you'll all enjoy. Cheers. Bye.
Bye.